Capricorn, welcome to Yellow Card No Tarot with me. My name is Carole and this is going to be a general reading for you for May 2026. And so Capricorn, I want you to know that if you're coming to my channel for the first time, I want to welcome you and let me know below if this reading resonates with you. If you're coming back for another reading, or if you subscribed, I want to thank you for supporting me. I really think it's important that I get these videos out to other people, this channel out to other people. It is a healing channel, and I know I've received some amazing comments from you that keep me going, actually. And so I would love to hear more and love to see more subscribers on this channel so I know it's getting out to more people. So, some of you may know I do offer personal readings. I have a website called carolecares.com, and you find my personal readings on there. I offer, I think, about 6 or 7 of them on there. Also, I'm a shamanic healer, shamanic practitioner, and I've been trained through the Foundation for Shamanic Studies, and I still am taking courses and will continue to in the future. So I do distance healing as well, and that is on my website if you're interested in a healing. And it's interesting because I like to sometimes bring in shamanism into my readings. Excuse me. And so this month when I sat down and I thought, what am I going to do this month? And I always like to do something different. You know, part of me says, you know, just do something you've done. And it's like, no, I like to do a different reading. And the words hollow bone came to me. And I knew right away that there was an oracle card that had hollow bone on it, and it's actually underneath it. It says teachability, and it comes from the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Colette Baron Reed is the one that put it together with Alberto Villoldo, and this card's in there, the hollow bone, and so it was like, I need to do a reading around the hollow bone is what came to me. And I learned that expression when I first started reading about shamanism, and the hollow bone talks about this concept of becoming like a hollow bone, and it speaks about becoming a conduit or a vessel, you know, the hollow bone. If you think of a bone with marrow in it, once you eat that marrow, take it out, it leaves you with the hollow bone. And that's what we aim to become as a shamanic practitioner, or even yourself, where you're aiming to, you know, you want that divine spirit, that divine wisdom to come through you so that you can use it. For myself, when I'm a shamanic healer, to heal other people, but also for you to use it as a way of healing yourself. And so in order to become that hollow bone, you must become empty of the notions of who you are. And so that's like stripping away the layers of, you know, all of our trauma, and it's healing, because as you do that, you're stripping away the notions of who you thought you were. And it really is, you know, checking your ego at the door, because our ego wants nothing but status quo. It wants you to stay the way you are. It wants you to believe that this is really who you are. And if only we knew, like if I knew, I wish I knew, you know, years ago, what I know now. But I couldn't get there because I had too much trauma that I had to peel away. You know, I had to become that hollow bone. And we're always becoming more and more hollow. Like, it's not where we get a point, okay, this bone's dry, I'm done healing. It's no, you keep healing, right? And so it's really essential that you get out of your own way and you become teachable, right? This is about teachability. So you become teachable where you're in a position to receive rather than control everything around you, right? You receive that wisdom rather than control. I know I'm in a point in my life where I really am open to being teachable. I'm open to receiving the wisdom rather than trying to control everything around me. And I know it sounds so like what a cool position to be in, right? Where, you know, but it's hard to get there because you have to peel away at what you thought was you, right? And so we're going to look at in this reading, we're going to start off right now. I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot. I was called to do that for you. It's been a while since I've used this deck. I'm going to see how it works out because usually it spits out too many cards for me. And so I'm going to try to take it slowly, and I really want to use this for you. So I'm going to use the Light Seers deck, and I'm going to clarify with the Tarot of the AE weight. So let's start off with Capricorn. What belief or identity story are you holding on to that's blocking you right now? Okay, so one card for that from this Light. It used to be my absolute favorite deck, my Light Seers deck, but it just started, and I don't just turn cards over, I have to shuffle them out. So I want one card for Capricorn. Sort of what they're identifying with right now. All right. Maybe I went too slow, but I don't want to go too fast. So what belief or identity story does Capricorn have? There we go. So one card, 4 Swords in reverse. Wow. Okay. That's a good one. What pattern, mindset, or emotions does Capricorn have that needs to be released or emptied out? And you know, this is what's coming out for you for healing, is this right here. What pattern, mindset, or emotions need to be released? Because that's the guck that's sitting in you that you've been holding on to. So let's have one card for that. The Emperor. Very interesting card for you. What is the message, guidance, or truth behind all of this that's you've been resisting? So because of this that you've been holding on to, it's because you don't want to look at this. Like, this is the truth that's trying to come through for you. And I should, you know, go like this, where this is the divine truth that's coming through. But because you're not this hollow bone, you know, you're not maybe teachable because this is blocking it. So what you need to do, we're going to look at what's the message here for you that's wanting to come through right now. Maybe this is what you need to hear. This is what, you know, the section I like, where this is what you need to hear. This is what's trying to come through for you right now. What do you need to hear? What's Capricorn need to hear? What message is coming through? Thinking. Came out the 9 of Swords. And how can Capricorn begin to trust and allow in order to step into this hollow bone state right now? So this is a guidance for you, right? And then I'll leave you with a video at the end, or 2 playlists usually. But yeah, how can you begin? Where do you begin? And this is some excellent advice for you, right? It's a process. This is a healing journey. So I'm gonna, you know, Tarot's gonna set you off on the right foot here. One card. I'm sorry if this is, you know, taking a while here, but I really want to use this deck for you. And for me, because you see, oh, there it is. 3 of Wands in reverse. So I managed to get 4 single cards out, which is really good. And because I went so slow, I know that they're definitely the cards for you. Okay, 4 of Swords. Let's go a little bit faster here. And can you give me a couple cards with the 4 of Swords? Yeah, Light Seers deck just does not shuffle like this. It's big too, so, but I love it. I wish they'd make it thinner cards. Okay, we got 1 card here and 1 more. 4 of Swords. Okay, so you have the 10 of Cups sideways, and then you have the 6 of Pentacles. Emperor came out with his chess piece. Cup cards, please. For the Emperor. An itchy nose. Tarot readers always get itchy noses. Okay, one more card. I suppose I could shut off the camera and itch, but that's okay. Okay, so you have the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Page of Swords in reverse sitting. Two interesting cards to come underneath that Emperor. Makes a lot of sense. Nine of Swords. A lot of swords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Swords is our mental thoughts, which is interesting because this is about, you know, the things you tell yourself too. So, Nine of Swords, couple cards. Oh, there's a Nine of... Oh, there it is. Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords clarifying a Nine of Swords. You want to leave it. It's telling me to stop. There. It's good. That says enough. 3 of Wands. One more card. There we go. Okay, so I have the Star card and the 7 of Pentacles. All right, so let's begin right here. I have our hollow bone right here. So what belief or identity story, what are you holding on to that's blocking you right now? You know, it's something you've been holding on to for a long time and you believe about yourself. We have the 4 of Swords here and it's in reverse. Yeah. So I just look at this card in particular and this is somebody that's taking out some time for themselves. Look at the heart beside her. You know, and you don't often see it's like she's taking time out for herself to mend, and it almost looks like there's these knitting needles right there. She's mending her heart. I've never looked at it as that, right? She's mending her heart. And you know, this was in reverse for you. You have a heart that needs mending. You've been hurt. And I think you believe that for some reason that you can't, or you won't take time out for yourself to mend your heart. Either because you don't think you're worth it. Yeah, it's definitely you don't think you're worthy enough here. I had to look to see if there was a card of unworthiness that's here. It's sitting right here. It's the 6 of Pentacles is my card of unworthiness. It's sitting right under here. So you really you don't feel worthy enough to take time out for yourself to heal. And there's so many of us that are like that, where, you know, who do you think you are that you're going to put yourself first? That you matter. And you do. You matter. But you don't feel like you do. Your 10 of Cups here, this is sideways here. 10 of Cups talks about having the full range of emotions. You know, this is the number 10. It's the last card. It's the last card of the cycle of cups. And you know, that's sideways here. And again, it's like you maybe dip into it a little bit, in and out of it, but you don't have that full range. You don't allow yourself to feel that full range of emotions that's available for you. The one emotion that I think you have been, you're kind of holding on to, like we said, is that feeling of unworthiness. And you have these individuals right here that are asking for handouts. And notice how the man that's handing it out has this balance here. And we often see the judgment card has the balance, or is it the justice card? Sorry, has the balance and the sword of authenticity with them. And here's this balance card, this balance that's coming out here on this card. And he's balancing out, the worth of these two individuals. Because one will say, I'm worth 3 coins, 3 pentacles. And so he'll balance that out, he'll weigh it out. This other one thinks, well, I'm worth 4. But neither one of them will say, well, maybe I'm worth 10 or 15. But it's like that, this is you, where you've always sort of been in this balancing act of feeling sometimes like you're worth, and a lot of times like you're not worth it. You'll go in and out of that. And so you're holding on to that belief that you just teeter-totter with the unworthiness around you, like whether you are worth it or not. So whenever you'll go into something or go into a relationship, you can go in and out of that feeling of, I don't think I'm worthy enough. And you'll try to fight for it. You'll fight for it sometimes. You try to get it back, like, yes, I am. But then there's something in you that keeps coming in your head, that same message that'll keep coming back going, no, I'm not worthy enough of this. And it could be with relationships. It could be with your job. It could be with, a lot of things, your health. But you'll just go in and out of it saying, no, I'm not worthy of it. And so, but you don't take time out for yourself to really feel, what this pain is, this unworthiness, and where it comes from. And our unworthiness comes from shame. We carry this it's a big emotion. I mean, think of a young child that's been told or shown that they're unworthy. How do they deal with that shame? It's a big emotion. And so it's held in your body for you to feel, because shame's not something we're born with. It's something that's given to us. And so that's what you're starting out with, is this identity, this story that you've been holding on to for so long of unworthiness that, floats in and out of your life. And so what pattern, mindset, or emotions need to be released? Well, we already know it's shame, but I'm going to look some more. But because the Emperor card comes out here, and the Emperor card talks about, he's sitting here, he's quite confident, he's got the next move in his hand, but I don't play chess, but I know it's probably like that, the one that makes you win the game. I don't play it enough. I honestly don't. I've tried to learn it, and it's not something that interests me. So, but he's got that next piece, right? That checkmate piece, or that says, you know what? I know that the Emperor says, it doesn't matter what happens. I know that I'm going to win. And so you've got, what does this mean for you? Like this is really a heavy masculine energy. It's like, for me, the Emperor represents, could be someone in your life. It could have been a male figure when you were growing up, like a real masculine figure. Or it could, it's somebody or society that it's a way that you were wired to believe. So you believe something here. Someone has shown you something when you were younger, and you believe it. Like it's like society proved to you, the universe proved to you all your life that this was true. And that's interesting because our patterns that show up for us all our life can continue to tell us that over and over. But it's really what we're feeling inside is being reflected out there all the time. So every time you had this pattern of somebody showing you that you were unworthy, that shit on you all your life, it's because it was trying to show you this is what you were reflecting out to the world, that I'm unworthy. And if that's what you reflect out, that's what's going to happen. And so that's what I see here is this Emperor card has, it's like these, you know, he represents these rules of society, these things that you've learned. But to me, it's like, this is what you've learned. And so you have, to clarify this, it's like this Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords. No surprise that these two are in reverse. And so let's look at what the single sword means, because it's come out side by side here. The single sword talks about your authenticity, your truth. And so it's covered up by what society, what universe has shown you all your life. This masculine, heavy masculine energy has taught you to believe that you're unworthy. And underneath that comes this, first of all, was the Knight that comes out. We got to look at the Knight of Swords, and he's the one that, he's the part of you. It's like a teenage part of you. Everybody has this part, fighting for freedom, fighting for authenticity, fighting for to be real, have authentic relationships, right? And he's in reverse. And because he's in reverse, and because he's been fighting for so long, that's that, he's angry. He's angry that your true self has been buried all this time. It has not been allowed to come out. It's trying to come out. Like I said, like you go in and out of these periods of, wait a minute here, but I am worthy. And then you go back into it and think, and you sink back into that shame, feeling like shit, right? So you've got this anger that's sitting here. It's been wanting to come out. And when you have this anger part wanting to come out, and you've got this Emperor sitting above it, going, no, stay where you are. Like, no, you are unworthy. That's your ego self, right? That can create so much anxiety. And so maybe you're somebody that has a lot of anxiety. Anxiety is really, what it is, it's this ego self that's going petrified, and that's where the fear comes with the anxiety of this, what's bumping up against it, that's wanting to come out. And so that creates the anxiety. It's the anger that wants to come out. You've got anger. If you're somebody that has anxiety, a lot of it, you've got this anger that's wanting to come out. But your ego self is going, nope. Because you've got this younger part of you right here. A page is an inner child. And it's blocked because it's in reverse. And it needs healing. It's the one that carried the sword. So when you were 4, 5, 6 years old, you knew who your authentic self was. You knew your truth when you came into this world. But you were told otherwise, and you were shown otherwise, that you were unworthy. You knew you were a worthy person. And that's what's trying to come through. I haven't got to your message yet here, but your unworthiness, because of something that happened to you, and I know something happened to you because I have the nine of swords here twice that clarified each other, that says, we're going to get to this in a second, but something happened to you that made you believe otherwise, that you were unworthy. And so what is the message or the truth behind what you don't want to get to, what your ego self has been resisting, that's been saying, no, don't go there? Well, it's the Nine of Swords clarified by the Nine of Swords. What is the Nine of Swords? Well, the Nine of Swords represents this individual. Look at her. She doesn't even want to look at something. When you cover your face like that, and that's what I do, and that's how I know. If I'm in the middle of grieving heavily, and I'm covering my face, I know that there's shame behind there. That's the shame that you've been carrying for so long, and of this unworthiness that you've been taught to cover your face. Like, cover your face because you're not worthy enough to show who the real you is. There was something that happened to you when you were younger, or maybe it was many things or many people that taught you that you shouldn't go out into the public. This is the guy that's sitting here. He represents the rules of society. You shouldn't go out into society because that real you can't be shown. You don't show that real you. Maybe you were somebody that tried to show your anger, tried to show who you really were. Who do you think you are? I just used that expression the other day. I was laughing with somebody, my banker, and I said, yeah, he said some funny expression that was an old expression, right? And I said, it's funny how those expressions come out. And I said, it's like that expression, who do you think you are? You're too big for your britches. And that's the expression that says, who the hell do you think you are? And I said to him, oh no, he said kick in the pants. And I said, yeah, today we would say kick in the ass, right? And it's like, who do you think you are? You're too big for your britches. That's the expression. Who do you think you are? That's what we would say today, right? And so there's a memory here. This is what the Nine of Swords is. There's a memory, memories of being told over and over again, who do you think you are? You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. Who do you think you are doing that, saying those things, wanting to do that, wanting to go in that direction, wanting to follow, your intuition and go towards who you really think you are. But you were put in your spot. You were put in your place quite early in life, because that's why you have this inner child that's about 4, 5, 6 years old that was told, who the hell do you think you are? Put on those masks, because that person that you're wanting to be is not good enough to go into society like that. And so that's why we put on these masks, because I was told that the person that's under this mask is not acceptable, right? And so how can you begin to trust now? Pull off those masks. How can you begin to trust and allow yourself to be teachable again? When you've been brainwashed or turned into this when you were younger. And so how can you step into that hollow bone and be teachable again, right? And be willing to have the Spirit come through and to allow you to be teachable, to allow it to accept. And it's really allowing it to be vulnerable, right? Here's this person that's very vulnerable. I mean, they've taken their heart out and placed it over there and allowed it to get mended again. And so it's like, let's go back to that. How do you take your heart out again when it's been hurt? That's what this is saying. So let's look at what the tarot says, and then I can help you with it. We have this Three of Wands here. Wow. This is in reverse. In an upright position. Look at her. She's taking her surfboard. She's going for it. She sees the light there. She's got those 2 torches going. She's ready to go. She's in reverse here. Now the Three of Wands talks about having a plan. The 2 gets this nudge of wand. The 3 says, you've got this plan. I think you have this plan, Capricorn. You know what you want to do. You know what your next step is. Here it is right here. It's in reverse because, there's a lot of resistance. I'm going to say there's a lot of fear. I'm going to say there's a lot of anxiety. We talked about anxiety already around what it is that you want to do for yourself. This is about, I love this, because you've got you here and then you here, right? Here you are. This one sideways. This one in reverse. So, you've got this plan, but you've got some healing to do. This is the Star card. Talks about healing. Talks about dipping your toe into the water. The water is emotions again, right? Dipping it into the water. You've got a big emotion. You've got a lot of shame here. And we don't like to talk about shame because it's shitty. Every single person on this planet has shame. Some of us a lot. But you're just going to dip your toe in a little bit because this is a healing channel. It's a healing journey. You know, we don't just clear out all this shame at once. But you've got a lot of shame around who people told you who you were. Or people that told you that, you know, you didn't matter. Because when we were told that, you know, put your masks on so that you can walk out into society, there's a lot of hurt behind that. There's a lot of shame of who you are. And so there's some healing here. And, you know, I think the Seven of Pentacles talks about this individual that's been hoeing all their life, been working hard all their life. And then when they're all done, they look at it and they go, is this it? Is this everything? And I think there's a part of you that wants to give up. There's a part of you maybe that has given up. And I think that's the parts of sometimes you'll go in and out of that unworthiness, where unworthiness is giving up. And so maybe you've been down that road so many times where you've given up and picked yourself up and then you give up. Believe me, I've wanted to give up so many times, and I still do when I get into those bouts of depression or hopelessness where I want to give up. When you think that, is this it? Is this everything? And it's not. It's not everything. But you've got some healing to do around the shame. And so I'm going to leave you with a playlist on shame. And I want you to have compassion for yourself, for what you're working through, Capricorn. This is a very difficult journey, the healing journey, but it's the most important one. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.